really think that feminism must incorporate boys and men.
Before we start this, I have to say that I do like Annie Lennox. I think she's great. I love her music. I used to be an Annie Lennox tribute act called Tranny Lennox. I did numbers like Walking on Broken Glass Ceiling and Must Be Talking to a Marxist. So that's the type of stuff I used to do. But forget that. Annie is a half-decent feminist, if there is such a thing in 2017, which we'll get to later. She's been doing some good stuff, actually. But we've first got to rebut some of the noise that's been coming out of face recently.
Feminism has always been something that causes tremendous polarity and division.
Well, it's not tremendous, because the division only exists amongst feminists and journalists and those who vehemently oppose it. For the vast, vast majority of people, it don't even show up on their fucking radar.
And a great deal of there's confusion around feminism. People use it in different ways. Some people have their kind of feminism, others have that kind of feminism.
Well, there's your confusion. The confusion exists amongst feminists themselves. Feminism, the advocacy of women's rights on the ground of equality of the sexes. Well, that's me. That describes most of the people I know, actually. But the difference is, most feminists don't act on that definition of equality. The types of feminists we see on the TV and internet are berserk.
Oh, no. Oh, we should film it. Yeah.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
And get that camera out of my face. Don't fucking say hello to me, bitch. Don't fucking say hello. I don't play that sexual harassment shit. Let me get your address.
Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. Everything is homophobic. And you have to point it all out.
A phone line is being set up in Sweden to help women report their male colleagues for mansplaining. Well, so what is it? Well, in the words of the Oxford Dictionary, when a man explains something, usually in a condescending or patronising manner, a bit like what I'm doing now, but to a woman.
Mansplaining manifests itself pretty much everywhere.
Shut the fuck up for a second! The assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy. Now, if you would shut the fuck up for the 50th billionth time... Oh, okay. I'm reading, fuckface. Feminists, listen the fuck up and understand what we're actually about. Anyways, I'm not done.
Mansplaining manifests itself pretty much everywhere.
Kill male babies and just kill any man that you see, like in the streets, like any swinging dick, just kill him. Because we want the species to go on, but we want it only to go on with women in it. So that's what we have to do. That's the only way to keep the human race going, is with just women. Get it?
Others have that kind of feminism. I've thought about this word for many years, and I think it's a good word. I don't think you can get rid of it. There's not another term that we can use.
Have you ever heard of the word egalitarian? Egalitarian, believing in or based on the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. There's another term for you. Egalitarians.
But for me, I would have to say that to boil it down, it is about human rights.
Oh, what rights don't women have that men do have? None. This is not Saudi fucking Arabia. Or as I call it, Saudi Arabies.
It's about protection of women.
Women are protected by men and the law, more often than not written by men, because more men choose to do that, so don't. But domestic violence is a crime, and it's frowned upon, and there is a lot of help out there for women. Carry on.
It's about justice.
Where's the justice for men? The denial of fathers to have access to the children after a family breakdown is a major driver of male suicide. 3/4 of all suicides are men. Around 90% of homeless people are men. Men are treated less favourably by the criminal justice system. They're more likely to go to prison for the same crime. 1 in 3 victims of domestic abuse are men. But I'm not a victim of domestic abuse, tell you. Boys aren't doing as well as girls in school and need help there. Where are the academic programmes for boys? The list goes on, but you won't hear about these issues from feminists because it's not about equality to them.
And it's about equality.
There you go. The confusion comes from your lot's inconsistencies.
How important is it to you that men and boys do become part of the movement?
I really think that feminism must incorporate boys and men, because otherwise we're just at odds with each other.
Great. A country full of beta male manginas. Soft bastards. The types of men who end up in the friend zone. Pansies. Like this guy.
One at the very back, the hand high in the air, yes.
The woman at the back.
I think that we have a lesson to learn from intersectionalism, and that is that when we're talking about racism, white people should be quiet. When we're talking about sexism, men should be quiet. And when we're talking about Scottish independence, English people should be quiet.
You're fucking a white male!
Okay. Well, on that note, I'm going to move on.
He couldn't have misgendered a better person. But what a Jessie. But I've been there. I've tested those waters, or lack of waters. White nights turn fannies dry. So dry that Native Americans would do a rain dance around it.
And I'm seeing more men coming and boys coming to this march, and that is very, very interesting to me. And I actually think that the locker room talk of our, sort of current president of America has worked as a catalyst to wake women up in the Western world to say, wow, this kind of speech is just generic. We just kind of accept it as normal. Oh, it's only this.
I agree, it's definitely brought women on the left of politics together, which is an absolute nightmare. But Trump was joking. I mean, shit talking about how slutty women throw themselves at rich and famous men.
I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
You had to take one of us as a date.
You have to take the fifth on that one.
Really?
Yep, I'll take both.
But actually, it is reflective of a global attitude towards women that, rape and the violence and the abuse, it's gone on for years, and the UN says that it's so glacially slow to make that transformative change. It'll maybe take us 75 years before we get to equality. So
why are feminists focused on issues of no significance in an equal opportunity society and not the rest of the world where equality is needed? It seems to be mostly men in the alternative media exposing women's issues in the world. Not the feminists.
There's been quite a bit of controversy, hasn't there, about the Dior "We Should All Be Feminists" t-shirt, the idea that this exemplifies feminism as a sort of movement of privilege. Would you wear the t-shirt?
Oh, it's so irrelevant. I really don't care. What I do on a sort of daily basis, I have an organisation that I founded called The Circle, and I work with them, and we work with women in developing countries at grassroots level. Every single day I'm working to do something. So, when I hear these kind of things, if they bring attention and they kind of create a bit of a controversy, it's not all bad, because actually what we need is the dialogue. The dialogue is very, very important. What is really bad for feminists and the feminist movement, or the global women's movement, is that it dies and that nothing happens.
It dies because the dialogue is awful. Feminists screech. They don't have the rigorous, well-thought-out arguments based on reason and logic and data. They have poorly designed wage gap reports, patriarchal conspiracies, microaggressions, mansplaining, manspreading. They rattle on about hurt feelings and offensive words to try and justify their existence in Western world. But you've got to give lots of credit to Annie Lennox for what she's been doing. She said this on Good Morning Britain.
because of my absolute commitment to this issue. And after all my visits to developing countries, I've been to Malawi, I've been to Southern Africa, all these places, courtesy of Comic Relief, Oxfam, wonderful organisations like CARE are deeply involved in the basic things like trying to get girls access to primary school education, trying to get girls and women access to safe ways to deliver their children, sexual reproductive health, never mind equal pay. So we're talking in a bubble in the Western world. The developing countries for girls and women are not even at the first rung of the ladder. I think it's very important for us to consistently put the positive message out about women's rights and actually what's happening. When you talk about FGM, when you talk about child brides, sexual slavery, so many things, and then we get other kind of confusing messages.
Good job. If all feminists focused their whining into these issues, then less women would have their genitals mutilated.
So, you know, that's just one of many things that happen.
We now have someone in the White House who has joked about sexually assaulting women.
No, he didn't. He said that they let you do it, which means it's not assault or condoning sexual violence against women. But it's more like just bravado.
How surprised are you that he made it there, and how long do you think he's going to be there?
To be honest, I'm not really surprised, because, I mean, that kind of talk is so common. It's like the norm.
Yes, it is. It's something some men use to bond with each other. If you've ever worked on a building site, you've heard it. And probably other presidents have spoke like that with their buddies, just not on tape.
I mean, from my perspective, growing up as a teenage girl, as a younger girl in the 50s and 60s and 70s, it was quite normal. That's what people did, and they thought that was fine. It was fine. Grab them by the, you know, whatever. Fine to be grabbed. But attitudes are changing now. And actually, I think that the fact that that was said and recorded has worked as a catalyst to wake women up and say, you know what? We're sick of this. We're sick of this attitude. It's next to, you see, grabbing is next to violence, next to raping. It's not that far away. They're just steps. So I think the fact that this has happened is a good thing for the women's movement.
Yeah, that type of talk has always gone on, like you say, and you're not going to stop it. Boys will be boys, and you're not going to stop rape with feminism. People know rape's bad. We've reached a moral standard in the West where rape isn't condoned, it's frowned upon, it's punished. What more can you do? Feminism, now more than ever, is an integral aspect of cultural Marxism, and it's used to misrepresent women as an oppressed class and turn them against white Western men who built the civilization and gave them everything they've ever wanted. Potentially it could destroy what's left of the family unit and commit a soft genocide on the European race once all the masculinity has been sucked out and millions more Middle Eastern men have been shipped in. And it's happening in all white majority countries, which makes it even more obvious that there's a conspiracy afoot. Zionist, Jesuit, Inuit, Illuminati, could be all four, could be Zionist Muslims. These are a new thing. Could be none, I haven't a clue. I lean more towards the Inuits. It's an Inuit conspiracy, and when we've all killed ourselves, they'll move in. It's a bit cold up there. I wouldn't like to live up there. Who knows what they're up to, those Inuits. But as we're dying out, after decades of social engineering and lowered birth rates, we'll be replaced with third worlders who can't create safe, equal societies, with flourishing creativity and different ideas battling it out. The most novel thing in the known universe is the human being. And the best and safest place for a human being to be born is in the West, the Western world. We can't let them win. It's not an option. Have a good day. Put kettle on, babe. Make me a sandwich. Oh, and subscribe there and click the bell. It's very important you click the bell next to the subscribe button. Click the bell. The bell, click it. Share the video. Smash the like button. I'll catch you in a bit. Fucking sandwich ready yet? Yeah, I walk into a car.